Why is it the more you chase a woman, the faster she runs away? It's not about your looks. It's not about money. It's not even about having the perfect line. The truth is simple. Women are not attracted to men who beg for attention. They're drawn to men who don't need it. Men who are calm, grounded, in control of themselves. The kind of man who could walk away tomorrow and still sleep peacefully at night. And here's the paradox most men miss. When you stop chasing approval, when you live on your own terms, that's when women start chasing you. In this video, I'll share 8 Stoic principles that flip attraction in your favor. No games, no tricks, just timeless wisdom that makes you magnetic without trying. But before we begin, if you want more straight, no BS truths about attraction, purpose, and personal power, make sure to hit subscribe, give this video a like, and share it with a man who needs to hear this. Now let's dive in. Part 1. The magnetic power of non-neediness. You know what instantly kills attraction? Neediness. The man who's always chasing, always trying to prove his worth, always desperate for validation. He never wins her heart. Why? Because deep down, she feels his energy is empty. He needs her approval just to feel whole. And that's never attractive. Now contrast that with the Stoic man. The man who doesn't live his life begging for attention. The man who walks into a room with quiet confidence. Not because he's the loudest, but because he's already complete within himself. That kind of man is magnetic. Because when you don't try so hard to impress, people can feel it. Your calm indifference says, I'm already enough, with or without you. Think about it. Why do women chase men who seem unbothered, who don't text 10 times in a row, who have a life so full they don't wait by the phone? It's because non-neediness signals abundance. It tells her you're a man with options, a man with purpose, a man she has to earn. I've seen it time and time again. When you stop over-investing, women lean in. When you stop seeking approval, they start giving it. Because what's rare, what's not easy to obtain, becomes infinitely more valuable. So ask yourself, are you radiating scarcity or abundance? Do you walk through life needing to be chosen, or choosing yourself first? Remember this, the man who's whole on his own is the man women will always chase. Not because he needs them, but because his strength and self-sufficiency make him impossible to ignore. Part 2. Social energy and influence. Here's something most men never realize. Women don't just watch how you treat them. They watch how the world responds to you. When you walk into a room, do people light up? Do your friends respect you? Do colleagues listen when you speak? Do others feel stronger in your presence? Because here's the truth. A man's social energy is magnetic. Respect from others signals value. And women are naturally drawn to the man who carries influence. Not because he's arrogant, but because the world already recognizes his worth. Think about it. We admire the rock star not only for his music, but because of the crowd he commands. We admire the leader not only for his vision, but because others follow him willingly. That's social proof. That's influence. And the Stoics knew this long ago. Your reputation is not in your control, but the way you carry yourself is. When you consistently show up as disciplined, grounded, and positive, people notice. They trust you. They respect you. And that respect becomes the silent signal women can't ignore. So, instead of chasing attention, build influence. Become the man whose presence changes the atmosphere. The man who others look up to. The man who brings value to every circle he enters. Because when society sees your worth, she will too. And she won't just want to be near you. She'll chase you. Because you've become the kind of man whose energy cannot be replaced. Part 3. Emotional composure. Most men lose it when life gets heated. An argument with a woman, a setback at work, a moment of rejection, and suddenly they explode, raising their voice, throwing anger, showing weakness. But the Stoic man, he remains calm, grounded, unmoved. And that calmness is powerful because composure is strength. It's the silent message that says, I cannot be shaken. Think about it. Who would you trust in a storm? The man who panics, screaming, making everything worse? Or the man who stands steady, guiding others through chaos with clarity? Women feel the same. When she sees you hold steady in conflict, she thinks, This is a man I can lean on. This is a man I can trust. Emotional composure doesn't mean you never feel anger or stress. It means you master your response. You pause before reacting. You breathe instead of bursting. You reframe setbacks as lessons, not punishments. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." And when you live by that truth, you become unshakable. So ask yourself, are you the man who crumbles under pressure, or the one who transforms pressure into presence? Because here's the reality. Life will always test you. The storms will come, but the man who keeps his composure will always stand taller than the rest. And women will chase that man, not because he needs saving, but because he's already the rock in a world full of uncertainty. Part 4. Self-discipline, the foundation of lasting attraction. Looks fade. Charm can be faked, but discipline never lies. You can catch a woman's eye for a moment with your looks, your style, maybe even your words. But what keeps her respect? What makes her chase you long term is your self-discipline. Because let's be honest, any man can be exciting for a night, but not every man can wake up at 5 a.m. and hit the gym when he doesn't feel like it. Not every man can say no to distractions, control his finances, master his emotions, and stay consistent in his mission. That's rare. And what's rare is valuable. Women feel it instantly. The disciplined man carries himself differently. His presence says, "I can be trusted. I can be relied upon. I don't just talk, I live it." Think about the men you respect most. Are they the ones who take the easy path, or the ones who set a standard and hold themselves to it, no matter how hard? Discipline is the quiet power behind every great man. It builds the body, the bank account, the mindset. It creates stability in a world full of chaos. The Stoics understood this. Freedom isn't doing whatever you want. Freedom is mastery over yourself. And when you master yourself, others can't help but notice. So here's the question. Are you living as a slave to impulses, or as a man of discipline? Because the man who controls himself controls the game. And that man is the one women never want to lose. Part 5. Authentic vulnerability, strength and openness. Most men get this wrong. They think showing vulnerability makes them weak. So they hide everything, every fear, every doubt, every wound behind a mask of toughness. But here's the truth. Real strength isn't pretending you're unbreakable. It's having the courage to be honest while still standing strong. Authentic vulnerability isn't about oversharing. It's not dumping your insecurities on someone, hoping they'll fix you. That only pushes people away. It's about balance. It's being able to say, "I've been tested, I've been hurt, but I've grown stronger because of it." Think about it. Who do you trust more? The man who acts perfect, never admits mistakes? Or the man who's willing to share his scars, but shows he's mastered them? Women feel the same. They don't want a man who hides behind pride. They want a man who's real, yet resilient. A man who can share his truth without falling apart. The Stoics lived this. They faced loss, betrayal, hardship, but instead of collapsing, they turned suffering into wisdom. And when you live that way, you become magnetic. Because your openness doesn't show weakness, it shows unshakable self-assurance. So here's the key. Choose the right moments. Share stories that inspire, not stories that beg for pity. Frame your struggles as lessons, not chains. Because authentic vulnerability says this: I am strong enough to be honest, and I am wise enough to grow from it. And that combination, strength and openness, is exactly what makes a man unforgettable and impossible not to chase. Part 6. Be a challenge. Why scarcity creates desire. Here's a hard truth most men refuse to face. When you make yourself too available, when you bend over backwards to please, you don't inspire love. You inspire boredom. Because what's given too easily is rarely valued. Think about it. Why do people line up for hours to buy a limited edition watch, but ignore the cheap ones stacked on every shelf? Scarcity creates desire, and the same principle applies to attraction. The Stoic man understands this. He doesn't hand out his time, attention, and energy to just anyone. He values himself too much, and because of that, women value him more. Being a challenge doesn't mean being rude. It doesn't mean playing games or pretending to be busy. It means having a full life. Your mission, your goals, your growth. So you're not sitting by the phone waiting for her message. It means saying no when something doesn't serve you. It means letting her earn your respect instead of giving it away for free. And here's the paradox. When you stop trying to win her so desperately, that's when she starts trying to win you. So ask yourself, are you the man who gives himself away for nothing? Or are you the man whose presence must be earned? Because women don't chase what comes easy. They chase what's rare. They chase what's valuable. They chase the man who is a challenge worth pursuing. And when you live that truth, you'll never have to run after anyone again. Part 7. Purpose-driven confidence. The power of living with direction. Confidence. Every man wants it, but most men fake it. They puff out their chest, talk louder, boast about what they've done. But real confidence, the kind that pulls women in without effort, comes from one thing: living with purpose. A man with purpose doesn't need to brag. He doesn't need to prove himself, because his mission speaks for him. When you know where you're going in life, you radiate certainty. You become steady, grounded, focused. And women feel it instantly, because purpose creates security. It says, I am the captain of my ship. I know my course. Think about the opposite. The man with no direction, drifting from one thing to another, easily thrown off by every setback. He's like a leaf in the wind, unsteady, unpredictable. No one wants to follow that. But the man with purpose, he can weather storms. He can face obstacles without losing his path. That resilience is magnetic. The Stoics taught this. A life without direction is wasted. So ask yourself, what lights you up? What goals make you forget time? What mission would you follow even if no one was watching? Set that course. Cut distractions. Live every day with your eyes on something bigger than yourself. Because when you walk in purpose, you don't have to chase approval. You carry yourself differently. You are different. And that difference is what makes women not just notice you, but chase you. Part 8. Detachment. Freedom that makes you irresistible. Most men crumble because they attach their worth to someone else's opinion. If she texts back, they feel high. If she ignores them, they feel crushed. Their emotions rise and fall like a roller coaster they can't control. But the Stoic man is different. He practices detachment. Not coldness, not indifference, but the power to stay centered, no matter what happens around him. When you're detached, rejection doesn't shake you. Approval doesn't inflate you. You remain steady, grounded in your own value. And here's the paradox. That very detachment makes you magnetic, because people crave what they cannot easily possess. When a woman realizes you don't need her validation, she starts to wonder, why not? What makes him so complete without me? And that curiosity sparks pursuit. Think about it. The man who clings, who needs constant reassurance, suffocates attraction. But the man who walks away from what doesn't serve him shows he values his time, his peace, his energy. And women respect that because it signals self-worth. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you choose what truly matters. It means asking yourself, does this really matter in the grand scheme of my life? Most of the time, the answer is no. So fill your life with purpose, passions, growth. Build so much within yourself that you never need someone else to complete you. Because the man who's content on his own, the man who's free from chasing approval, that's the man women will always chase. Not because he needs them, but because he's already whole without them. So remember, attraction isn't about tricks, games, or chasing. It's about who you become as a man. When you live with discipline, when you hold your composure under pressure, when you walk with purpose and value your time like it's gold, you don't have to beg for anyone's attention. Women will notice, they'll respect it, and more often than not, they'll chase it. Because true magnetism comes from within. It's not what you say to her. It's the strength, the calm, the presence you carry into every room. The Stoics taught us this centuries ago. Master yourself, and you master the game. So here's my challenge to you. Stop asking, how do I get her to like me? And start asking, how do I become the man I respect? When you answer that, The rest will take care of itself. If you found value in this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs this message today. Stay grounded, stay focused, and as always, keep moving forward.